Hey, it's Stu Radio on the radio, no radio. And today we're talking about co-parenting. So, quick intro. In 2006, I had my son. I was 18. I met his mom in high school. And from there, I went to the military. We didn't have a good relationship. It kind of like was going on and off, back and forth. And it dissolved rather quickly. So then I had to deal with child support, court, child support, court, child support, court, child support, court. And that's pretty much the song of my life until it had finished. During that time period, like I developed this hatred that I had for his mom, and I could not deal with her. I would see her name pop up on the phone and I'd be ready to throw it. Every time I even thought about his mom, I would be so aggravated. And what I did when I realized that I had two issues, the reason why co-parenting when he was younger wasn't even possible, because I had attached all my negative emotions to my son. So every time like my son would come around or whatever, I just be like, oh, I gotta deal with his mom later. Like it would just bring like this, I would get depressed, sad, angry, all of the emotions mixed up in one whenever I thought about them, because I had attached my son existence to his mom, and I couldn't separate them in terms of looking at them as two different people. So literally like, oh, I gotta get my son today. Oh my gosh, man, I just don't want to see his mom. And it would just really piss me off. And then the second problem I had was, as my son got older, the second problem I had was, I just had so much, like, the way that we started to grow, the way we started to grow in different directions. So it's like I started to grow this way, and his mom started to grow that way. So for example, at the time, I wasn't a part of any religions or anything, and I'm still not a part of no religions, although I'm Christian. Still wasn't a part of no religion structure, and she had started to do a religious structure with him. So he started to like, speak a certain way and act a certain way and do certain things and ask me questions about stuff that I wasn't necessarily familiar with at the time. And I was just like, when you're live in two different households, it becomes difficult to try to do religious structures, especially if the both parents aren't in the same background. So that was a difficult thing for me too. And then the last thing I would say is that that would made it difficult for me to co-parent is that I never viewed co-parenting as a equal thing. I always looked at it like, oh well, somebody has to do this in this area. That's not necessarily true, because let's say as a guy, right? As a guy, there's unisex items, but you can't just be like, okay, well, I'm the woman, so I'm supposed to give this element to my child as the woman. And as the guy, I have to give him this. That's a lot of unisex topics that are somewhere scattered within there, like just how to treat people, or just regular manners. Like, for example, and I'm not saying this happened, but like I'm gonna try to tell my son how to treat a woman and how he should do this or blah blah blah. Meanwhile, his mom could be trying to tell him how to treat a woman, and it could be conflicting. And it's only from different perspectives, but at the same time, it's like it could be sometimes different perspectives are not where they're clashing. And it's like, well, mommy said do this, and daddy said do that, and it just becomes a struggle. And it's not about who's right or wrong in that situation. So how did I get to the point where I was able to co-parent, right? I had to learn that this is not about myself. Like this, I had to learn that this is not about myself. And that's hard for me to say, because I watch people talking about, oh, when you have kids, it's not about you no more. It is still about me. It's definitely still about me. Like if I don't love myself and know how to love myself and know how to love other people, I cannot give that to my son. So a lot of stuff is still about me. So I will say I don't agree with that part. But I had to see that it wasn't a battle between me and her. It had that battle had ended a long time ago. We had our relationship. It dissolved. The battle was gone. Right now, the second thing I was gonna say is that I had to learn that I had to detach. Like I said previously, I had to learn how to take my son out of the emotions I felt for her. Like he's a separate person. So not only did I have to, take my son and attach him from the situation, I also had to learn that this is not about me. I gotta care about my son. So when we had got on the phone and we was talking, and I was like, yo, I am exhausted. I am mentally done. Like I am beaten down, destroyed. I'm waving a white flag because I'm not trying to beat you no more. I just want to work together and try to like make this work for Zai. Like you can hate me until I die, or you could I don't even care what it is. Like, all I want to do is end this so we can take care of him together. That's it. And I just came to her, and she was a receptive person at the time, and she was like, you know what? I want the same thing. So I was like, I changed my mentality. Like, I'm not trying to beat her. I'm not trying to win no more. I'm not trying to do none of that. That's mad work. Like, I just got to the point where I'm just trying to chill. And I'm exhausted, and I'm tired of going back and forth with you. I just want to see my son win now. I just want to make sure that he has his mom and he has his dad. Even if they're not in the same household, they can still work together separately to come up with something so that he can learn something. And I will say that right now, that today, ever since my son was younger, it was terrible. But as of right now, yo, I actually just had a phone call with her, last week about one of the issues that we dealing with my son. And it was a good conversation because we're both on the same accord. Like, she wants this for him, I want that for him. Now we gotta figure out how to make it both. And that's it. And then once we figure out how to do that, it's all it was. And that was an easygoing conversation, completely different than, yeah, F you, and then no, F you, and you ain't nothing, and you ain't got nothing. It was crazy back then. And I'm happy to the point where you gotta, to wrap this up, you gotta get to a point where you make it not about you. You gotta get to a point where you detach the kids from the person that you're initially angry at. And then lastly, you gotta just remember, you can't always win by winning. I mean, because we both won, but technically I lost if we was going against each other. So, Stu Radio, No Radio. If you have any questions, comments, concerns, whatever, put it on the bottom. I'll chat for a little while. Please like, share, comment, see what's up. All right, talk to you later. Stu.